Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Friday night Q&A live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the markets, and as always, I'll move some crypto around. Tonight I want to focus on buying Bitcoin, so we'll go through a few scenarios in that respect. So pull up a chair, put on your thinking caps, and let's get to it. Okay, so had a little technical issues related to the Microsoft update, which I avoided as long as possible. They tried to update me last year from, I think I was running 18.0, Windows 10, of course, 18.03. And when they went up to 1903, I had some technical issues, so I rolled it back. And then this year, they all of a sudden they were like, okay, it's time to update. And I said, no, I don't want to update. I'll pause the update. And my computer was like, you can pause the update until March whatever, and then that's it, right? It was like I had no choice but to upgrade. So ever since I've upgraded to Windows 10, I've got all kinds of like weird issues with my motherboard and the audio driver and all kinds of weird stuff. And anyway, this side camera right here wasn't working when I did my Tuesday morning, but I got it back. So that's good. So let's go over here. Let's see where we're at. I'm going to pop out chat and say hello to everyone. All right. Ronaldo Silva is here. He was here before I started. Thank you for joining me. Paul B is here. Do you know how to split BSV from BCH bought before the split? It's a hard fork. I'm not that. It's not easy. It has to do with like sweeping your private keys into a BSV wallet, which is at its heart a bit risky. But and I've never done a video on it because it wasn't that I don't know, it wasn't that kosher. There were a lot of people that didn't really like buy the whole BSV thing. So there was a lot of controversy around it. So I didn't really get too heavy into it. So I can't really help you with that one. I apologize. We can go into it a little bit. But before I jump into a question, I'd like to talk about the news a little bit. Is it going to dip soon from halving? I don't know. I'm not a great predictor of the market, and it's my firm belief that no one really is. I think there's a lot of people that do technical analysis that might do day trading and stuff that know patterns that can make money on those. But if that were the case, then there would be a lot of billionaire traders, since it's like basically free money. So really, it's kind of a guessing game, and I guess you can get rich if you, the law of averages, I guess, or it's a percentage game. You kind of minimize your risk. But in the long run, if people could predict the market, then it really wouldn't be a market. So there's a lot of people that say it's going up, a lot of people that say it's going down, a lot of people like me that jump on here and talk about it. But no one really knows for sure. It's possible that it might dip before the halving. It's possible it might dip after the halving. Let's go ahead and take a look at where we are. It looks like it dropped a little bit today. So let's go over to the charts real quick. Double check that. Yeah, it was like around 66. And now it's dropped down a bit. It's like 5% from yesterday because it was flirting with 68 yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Let's look at the 1 day chart. See what happened today. Yeah, it kind of dropped off here a little while ago. See, it was up to around 67, 83, 87, almost 68 earlier in the day, right? Today, March 27th. And then it's kind of been in this range for a while, and then it just took a dive here not that long ago, less than an hour ago, I guess. It has dropped down to 64.30. I was looking at my Crypto.com app, which tends to sort of be a little bit ahead of the market. I don't know why their exchange tends to be a little bit ahead. Maybe because they're in Asia, and that's where their market is. So, but it generally tends to give me kind of an insight as to where the market's heading in the next hour or two, right? I'll show you real quick here. Pooies. I'm going to have to start that again. I adjusted the resolution of my screen, and that kind of screwed up the way my phone was going. Yeah, but if we look at Crypto.com, they've got Bitcoin at 62.71. So it looks like it's kind of on the downslope, right? We don't know if this is going to be like a gut-wrenching dive or what's going to happen, right? We'll find out, right? But that's kind of where we're at the moment, right? And, as you know, like if we look at the 1 month chart of Bitcoin, if it will load here. Yeah, so back in mid-March, right, was when it really took its dive down to, on some exchanges, 37. I think I can get it down to 44.02. That was the big drop, right? It had been all the way up at around 10,000 before that, right? Maybe a little bit before here. And then, but the stock market was also taking a dive at that time. And Echo, turn on Office. My son is upstairs playing with the Echo. He loves to adjust the lights. And now Echo's mad because I said Echo and didn't talk to it. Anyway, so we're looking at this drop down here, and the stock market dove that week as well. But Bitcoin has kind of been on its own trajectory to a certain extent. It does tend to sort of follow the broader financial markets, but over the last week or so, it's kind of been in a range when the markets were down about 30%. And then on yesterday, they went back up again, like the highest. And I'm talking about the stock market, right? So it had its big recovery of like 20% back up. And now, of course, it's down a little bit today. But Bitcoin has been in a range. So Bitcoin, I guess my point is that Bitcoin has not been following the market that closely as when it dropped along with the market a week or two ago, right? About 2 weeks back. So that's a good thing. But Bitcoin is considered a risk asset. So by a lot of people, although believers like me feel it has fundamentals, a lot of the people that are buying Bitcoin, holding Bitcoin, are sort of treating it as a risk asset, and they tend to get out of it when things look bad economically, so it tends to follow the market. It does have a lot of its own features that give it its own personality and market movements and everything else, but overall I think the vast amount of big investors tend to think of it as a risk asset. And I'm just saying. There may be some big whales out there that treat it differently, but I think most people think of it as a risk asset. All right, so hello, Slim Dre. Yeah, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin. I think I'll buy a little Bitcoin on Coinbase, and I'll buy a little Bitcoin on the Cash App, and we'll compare. My thinking is that it's cheaper to buy Bitcoin on the Cash App, and the fee seems lower to me. But a lot of people say that Cash App tends to have a higher exchange price of Bitcoin as compared to other exchanges, so that's where they kind of make their money, right? But we'll see. So we got a couple of different ways to buy Bitcoin. We'll do that. Let's look at some of the news stories. And before we get too much further, remember that all you got to do is look at your video description and just kind of scroll down a little bit. And you can see these coins that I'm talking about. I'm sorry, these news stories that I'm talking about. Thank you, Benevolent24. Got cheated on at 19 and became a pothead hermit for 16 years. Now I'm trying to date again as a 34-year-old man who can't trust advice? Question mark? Okay. All right. That's interesting. Sounds like you've had quite a journey there, CA. I thought you were asking me a question. Most people do with when they throw out a tip, they're trying to get my attention. So, but welcome, Benevolent24. I like your handle. So anyway, check out the news stories. They're linked below. Check out the affiliate links, if you will. Open up a Crypto.com account using my link, and if you stake an MCO card with at least 50 MCO, then they'll give you $50, and they'll throw $50 back my way as well. So, and this is a real deal. I mean, this is not some little quirky scammy thing. It works. The only thing, that like when I sent my dad some Bitcoin and he opened up an account and everything, and he was kind of like, how do I get this $50? And I said, well, you've got to get an MCO Visa card and you've got to stake some MCO. Oh, what does that mean? I was like, well, you got to buy some MCO with your money, your own money, and then like stake it with the card. It's like they call it a secured credit card. I mean, people do that all the time. They put down $300 on a secured credit card, and then they get a $300 credit limit, and that's the way it goes. But my dad was kind of like, I don't want to do that. So it's up to you. But you get the money back. It's not like they take your money. You stake it for 6 months, and then after that you can withdraw it. And it's a ATM card, so when you buy Bitcoin, or you deposit Bitcoin and trade or whatever you do in there, you can always withdraw it. You guys watch me use it all the time. It's just like Binance US, blah, 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 blah. I'm getting too far into this. Best hardware wallet on the market, Ledger Nano X. Check those out. Doesn't cost you a penny more to use my affiliate link. Check out the Brave browser. We're going to talk about Brave browser tonight. They've added a new feature that I think is pretty cool. They've got a widget now where you can interface with Binance. So we're going to check that out. Now that's in the developer version, right? It's not out in the full version yet. So we're going to play around with the Brave dev version, or what we call the nightly version. So we'll check that out. And then check me out on LBRY. It's an alternate blockchain-based what do you call it? Social media site, whatever you want to call it, right? Let's go over here and do it. Yeah, so there we go. LBRY, it'll just take you here. There's no affiliate link or anything like that. It's just like, hey, there's this blockchain-based thing where I've got, I just got an alert on my phone that says that Bitcoin is down 8.17%. So Bitcoin's dropping, guys. Hey, what can you say? But that's a good opportunity for us, right? So we're going to buy a little Bitcoin and check it out. So let's see. What have we got on the news today? Let's look up here. Let's see. Whoops. I guess this story here. Bitcoin was headed for a big upsurge. Traders explain what changed. They talk a little bit about, these are market conditions where they talk about Bitcoin. And I don't know anything about market analysis, but I do have experience, just personal experience, that when Bitcoin is stuck in a tight trading range for a while, the other shoe's going to drop sooner or later. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. It doesn't just sit there forever in a range, right? And like I said, over the last almost a week, it's kind of been in that little range there. And so I don't know if it's going to go up or down, but I do know it's going to go one way or the other, pretty much. That's just my gut from experience. So as it seems like it's kind of going down right now. So anyway, you can check out this article talking about where Bitcoin's been, where it might be going. But I believe the consensus on this article is that it's going to go back down again for a while. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin. I'm a long-term hodler, so whenever I see red, it's a good time to buy in my mind, right? So if you can afford it, right? So yeah, Bitcoin's down to like 6,200, and I'm sure the altcoins will follow. Bitcoin tends to drag them down as well. All right. Okay. So and then I got this story here. Let's see. Whoops. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this story. A lot of the bad rap that Bitcoin gets is its volatility, right? So, but over the last month, the S&P 500 has been more volatile than Bitcoin. Volatility is just a measurement of how far it goes up and down in a range of time. So, when you look at a volatility chart, you're looking at not whether it's going up or down, but how far it's going off in either direction. So as you know, the S&P 500 went way down over the last week or two, and then went way back up again on some days, and then on Thursday it went way back up again. So it has become much more volatile than Bitcoin lately. So now we should start bashing the S&P. It's like, oh, that's too volatile for me. So it's crazy times, guy. Everything's crazy. But check out this article where it talks about what volatility is and how it's measured, and how the S&P 500 has now become more volatile than Bitcoin, which is, I think, is kind of cool. It's like serves them right after all that bashing they've been doing to all of us Bitcoin aficionados, right? One of the, Bitcoin is used by criminals, Bitcoin is used by money launderers, and Bitcoin has no intrinsic value, and Bitcoin can't be used as a currency because it's too volatile, right? That's what they always say. So now let's look at the stock market now. Why would I want to own a stock when the value of that stock flies up and down like crazy, right? So a lot of people are exiting stocks, right? They're risk assets, right? So anyway, it's just me saying, gloating now that they're down, right? And then I've got another story here. Crypto.com has announced that they've got integration with crypto tax services, several of them, 3 different ones, I believe. Let's see, I'm trying to find the... Oh, yeah, here we go. Cointracker, Token Tax, and CryptoTrader.tax. So making it easier for us to do our taxes. If you guys follow my channel and follow my live streams, you'll know that I'm constantly moving crypto around. And a lot of people will, ask me, hey, isn't that a taxable event? And, but I stopped letting that worry me a long time ago. Yeah, my taxes are probably going to be complicated and everything, but I'm not going to let that rule my life, right? I'm not going to not move crypto around because I'm afraid that it's going to create a taxable event. Most of the, I sell crypto at losses. I sell crypto at gains, not huge. So I'm thinking that, I'm not a trader. I just tend to move it around, as demos and stuff. And sometimes I liquidate and at a loss, and sometimes I liquidate at a gain. And overall, I think it's just going to kind of even out for me. But tax preparation services for crypto are a big help in that situation because I don't have to go through each and every transaction and determine whether it was a gain or a loss based on the price that day. You know, I can just feed everything into these tax services and they'll do all the work for me. And they're not that expensive. And so when you have, you know, I use crypto.com a lot. You might use Coinbase or Binance or Binance US. They all have ways that you can, you know, they have APIs that you can connect so that you can download all of your trades and feed them into these crypto tax softwares so that you can get your taxes done. So don't be afraid, you know, the technology is on our side to move crypto around. And, you know, hopefully as time goes by, it will be simpler tax-wise to use crypto, buy and sell and move and transfer and use it to pay for stuff. And a lot of other countries have simplified the way crypto is taxed or regulated, right? I think it's pretty, France and Germany are kind of ahead of the US in that, where they're not taxing people on their crypto gains, right? Anyway, so that's a good, interesting story. So let me see what questions we've got. There was a question about early on about BCH or BSV. Pardon me. Let's see, maybe just try like this. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so looks like you can claim BSV in Exodus. If you, come on, baby, load. I don't know what's taking this one so long. All right, so Exodus Wallet has a function where you might be able to claim BSV that you have held in maybe a different wallet, or maybe you had it in Exodus already. I don't know if this is only for people that had their Bitcoin Cash in Exodus or not. That's one way to do it, claim BSV. So, you know, I do know that in order to claim a hard fork, it has to be from the wallet that you actually had the crypto in. So I don't know what you were holding your... that's still Exodus. Okay, here we go. How do I split BCH, BSV held on another wallet? Okay, if you've been holding on a Ledger, Trezor, or another wallet that does not support BSV, you can use Exodus to safety split your BCH and BSV. So, I would check into that, right? I'll just throw a link up there for that. Might be the best way to go. You just have to remember that, you know, you don't want to expose that wallet if you don't have to. So if I have a wallet that's got BCH in there, Bitcoin Cash, and I want to claim BSV, you only had to have the balance in there during that hard fork split, right? That the date and time of that split. So you can move your funds out of that wallet somewhere else before you claim your BSV. It's safer to do it that way. So let's say I had 10 BCH in my ledger, in a Ledger BCH account, right? And I'm going to do this little thing here. I would move that BCH out because as long as there was some in there on the fork date, I can move out. I know, and this is hard to wrap your head around, but they only care that it was in there on that fork date. So move it out before you go through all this stuff so you don't screw something. I'm sorry, I got to take this. Elite and discreet, this is Rex. Hi, Jacqueline. Yeah, I think they're supposed to come around 5, and Dimitri is doing the box tonight. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, I'll just send her a text to, wait up on that. Okay, no problem. Thanks. Sorry about that, guys. Working. They don't call me all day and then right in the middle of my live stream. Hey, Dimitri, Jacqueline Baker just said that Kendall is putting some extra things in the box, and so it'll be ready in about 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. Sorry. Okay. All right. So now let me just check to see what other questions there are, and we'll buy some Bitcoin. He's trying to get my attention. He wants some advice. Oh, he wants advice. Trying to date again as a 34-year-old man who can't trust. Advice. Oh, okay, I get it. It's not really my forte. This is more a cryptocurrency channel, but I will say that they should like you for you and not your money, right? So, there's lots of ways to meet people these days on the internet and whatnot. A little tough now that we're all sheltering in place. So, but maybe that's probably get an online relationship going with someone that you can chat with and share feelings with. And you don't have to be face to face. There's lots of ways to interact with people online as well. There's a great program called Zoom, which I use when I work with people, and it's free to use. And you can you just download it, install it on your computer, and you can use it to chat with other people face to face. If you've got a webcam, or you can do it over the phone too, or audio only. So there's lots of options, but that would be a good way to talk to someone and get to know them while you're in your separate comfort zones, right? So, and I guess they haven't banned people dating, right? But it's a little tough because restaurants are closed. But, I mean, you could go for a walk in the park, I guess. As long as you're a group of 10 or less. I don't think that's illegal yet, but we'll see what happens. So, but just talk about yourself and don't talk about, how much money you've got and whatever. Just be yourself. That's my advice. Right? And, there's lots of services that you can sign up for where you might be able to connect with other people. Try to keep it civilized, right? eHarmony is probably a good one. Right? They're pretty legit, right? And, that's probably the best way to go. You fill out a profile and they'll connect you with other people. I think you have to pay for this thing, of course. Right? But you might meet that special someone, right? Okay. Whiskey Tango. Ever bought Bitcoin from an ATM? I have bought Bitcoin from an ATM before. You pay quite a premium on those. Nothing wrong with that. Although some of the newer ATMs require KYC, know your customer stuff. They make you scan your ID and take a selfie and everything. So it's they're not very anonymous like they used to be. It used to be pretty anonymous. You just you went up there and you stuck money in, and then they would ask you for a Bitcoin address. And if you had a Bitcoin wallet on your phone, you could hold it up and they would scan it. But now, it's you're paying the premiums and you're not getting the anonymity, so it's probably, I don't know. I prefer to buy it online with the Cash app, right? So we'll do that. Rex, is it possible to exercise Google from our daily lives? Google is insidious. I don't know that, there's even if you exercise Google from your daily life, Google will still have quite a bit of information about you. Um, and it's not so much what you do from day to day, it's the history that they can construct for anyone that, decides you need to be targeted, right? So let's say, uh, I don't want to get too Orwellian here, but I think, who's our famous guy? Edward Snowden put it very well when he was talking about mass surveillance, and that it's, if you're targeted for any reason, let's say you're involved in uh, environmental protest, and thank you, David, I appreciate that, or anything like that. You could be targeted, and then they can just go, all this information that gets recorded and stored is really not hurting you until someone decides to use it against you, be it the government or the local police or whoever. They can pull that information out and just go through it with a fine-tooth comb and construct about any narrative they want about you based on your history, right? So that's really the danger of the surveillance. But the opposite side of that coin is that we want convenience, right? We want to be able to be connected to the rest of the world. We want, when I search for a coffee shop on Google, I want it to be one near me. I don't want it to be somewhere on the other side of the country. So there's a lot of convenience involved in the fact that Google knows where I am at. They can give me good advice on where to find something close to me, that sort of thing. They know my interests when I'm searching. So there's all kinds of benefits that you get from the connectivity of Google, right? So, and they give you free email. So I don't know that there's any way to get rid of it. I mean, if you're already using a Google email, you could go out and get yourself a different email like Proton or Yahoo or some other kind of email, and stop using Google Chrome and start using some other browser, or only using the Tor browser. But it's not very user friendly when you're not like connected to anything else, right? So anyway, I guess my answer would be no. There's no way to extricate yourself from Google. Now, there is a way to delete your Google search history, if I'm not mistaken. Oops, I misspelled that, right? All right, so this is browsing history. Okay, yeah. It's one thing to delete your own browser cookies and search history. It's another thing to actually sign into your Google account and actually delete your saved history. Now, they say that this works. I don't know if they have it. Okay, go to activities. So this is pretty good. Oh, here we go. Browsing, Google search, my activity, delete activity by blah, blah, blah. I don't think this is what I'm after. There is a way to actually sign into your Google account and delete your search history. I'm not sure where it's at. And I'm not sure how thorough it is either, right? Because you leave pieces of that all over the internet, you know. So, I don't know. You might want to try something like that if it really bothers you. I try not to think about it too much. Hey, Scott. There you go, Scott. That I say the same thing. If you are actively not connected to Google and all that other stuff, then you are kind of these days sticking out more like a sore thumb than someone who's like connected to Google and all that other stuff. So, and there's thousands and hundreds, well, there's millions of us, right? And like I said, no one is going to go through all that until you've been targeted for whatever reason. So it just sort of blends in with all the other people's profiles that are stored in this quintillion gigabit database, right? All right, so let's buy some Bitcoin, right? So the first thing I'll do is I'll just buy some on using the Cash app. We'll do that first. I've done this many times. So I'm not going to buy that much. I'm just going to show you how it goes, right? So the Cash app is a great app for sending and receiving real money between friends. You can load it up from your bank account and use it to transfer funds between you and other people that use the Cash app, right? When you're at a restaurant, you want to pay somebody for mowing your yard, or you want someone to pay you for mowing their yard, they can send you money on the Cash app. Now you can also buy Bitcoin on the Cash app. So if we go down to that little squiggly line down there in the bottom, we can hit buy, and and you'll notice there's stocks and Bitcoin, right? We want Bitcoin, right? We can hit buy, and let's buy 20 bucks worth of Bitcoin. We'll hit next, right? It uses my Face ID. There's that confirmation of the $20 purchase. Now let's take a look at these fees, right? I'm getting charged 46 cents. So I'm actually only getting $19.54 worth of Bitcoin. So a small fee. Right? And then we'll confirm that. Hello? Kind of moving slow tonight. I don't know what's going on with that. There it goes. All right, so I purchased some Bitcoin. I got a little email alert. And then when we go over to the home part, which is like that little bank building down there in the bottom left corner, we still see our zero available balance because we don't have any cash in here, right? We have Bitcoin in here. So I can tap that Bitcoin, and there's the Bitcoin balance, right? Now, I thought I could sell the Bitcoin. Oh yeah, if I hit withdraw Bitcoin, it takes it back to, and they've changed their interface. It used to be really easy to just do the max, but not anymore. You have to actually type it in. So if I do that, then is it going to let me do this? What's going on here? Oh, it's 003, right? It's not very much Bitcoin. I can withdraw that Bitcoin from the Cash app and it becomes cash. But I'm not really, that's not really makes sense right now because I just used my Cash app to buy the Bitcoin. So why would I want to move it back to cash? But there may be a situation where you've got Bitcoin in your own wallet that you want to deposit in Cash app and then sell. Okay. She's a boom. All right. And so in that situation, you would sell. And they hit you pretty hard on that. Right? They give you a pretty good fee when you sell Bitcoin. Right? So you kind of take it from both directions. But more so when you sell Bitcoin. But the nice thing about selling Bitcoin on the Cash app is that you can take Bitcoin that you got in your wallet, transfer it to a Cash app, and then sell it for cash, and then instantly move it into your checking account, which is pretty cool. That's a good use case in my book. When I need cash right away and I've got Bitcoin, it's a good way to do it. But we're not going to do that today. We're just going to put this Bitcoin in our own wallet, right? So we'll go over here to our Ledger Live, right? Here's our accounts. Ledger Live is a interface to my hardware wallet, right? This Ledger Nano X, where the private keys of all my cryptocurrency wallets are stored, right? The private key is the part that I control. The Bitcoin is on the blockchain. So when I control the private keys, then I fully own the Bitcoin. Now, when I'm using the Cash app, this Bitcoin I don't really own it, right? They are holding it on my behalf. So what I'd like to do is withdraw it to my own wallet. And I'm just going to do a quick one here. Let's hit this native SegWit account and let's do a receive and continue. And I'm just going to tell them I don't have my device, right? Because I'm not, I'm kind of in a hurry, right? And they're just going to throw up the last address from that wallet, right? They're not going to generate a new one. They may be generating a new one. I'm not sure. But I'm not really verifying it on the device. because I'm kind of in a hurry. So I'm not going to do, I'm going to skip that step, right? I'll just copy that into my, I don't need to copy it into my clipboard. I could if I was doing it from an exchange, but I'm going to hit show QR code. That's the address of my Bitcoin wallet in my Ledger Live account, right? Which is tied to this, right? So it's easy to put Bitcoin in, no problem at all, right? So we'll hit withdraw Bitcoin. And they used to have a little slider that I could move all the way over to the end to max out my withdrawal. Now they like force me to type it in. I don't know why they changed it. It's kind of frustrating, but let's do it. 0.0031298. Did I get that right? Yeah. Hit withdraw. And now where do I want to send the Bitcoin? Well, to my own wallet. So I'll just scan that Bitcoin address with my phone, and then I'll confirm that. All right, and then it wants my PIN, which I will not let you see me put in, although it's not that big of a deal. It's supposed to be, all right, there we go. So I initiated a withdrawal of my Bitcoin from the Cash app. Now you guys have seen me do this so many times, right? But I consider that one of the easiest, quickest, cheapest ways to buy Bitcoin. But let's try a different way, right? Let's try Coinbase, because a lot of people use Coinbase. So it's an easy, quick way to get involved in crypto. So let's go over to Coinbase. Let's sign ourselves into our Coinbase account. Right? And you'll notice that I have two-factor authentication enabled on my Coinbase account, right? So I go over to my Google Authenticator, and I just find my code for Coinbase. You can see I got quite a few of them. All right, and then we'll hit verify, and that should get me into the account. And there we go. And so looks like there might be a little in there already. I don't know why the icons are all broken. It feels like I'm back in the early 90s now. You remember those websites where you'd pull up and all the graphics were broken? You guys are too young to remember that. Back in the heady days of the early internet, right? Yeah. You don't see that as much these days. But anyway, so there's a BTC logo that's like broken, whatever. Maybe if I refresh the page, I'll get it back. It's still broken. That's bizarre. All right, so anyway, so I want to buy some Bitcoin. So how do I do that on Coinbase, right? Let's hit trade, and I want to buy Bitcoin with a broken icon, and I'll pay with Chase, right? I'm not going to pay with Chase, actually. I'm going to pay with my Chase debit, right? Because the Chase debit card is instantaneous, right? So let's buy another 20 worth of Bitcoin, right? Now, what are how much are they going to charge me, right? Let's preview the buy. Remember, it was 46 cents on Cash App. It's $1.49 on Coinbase. So I'm only getting $18.51 worth of Bitcoin. So I still think Cash App is cheaper, right? And I didn't really look at what Cash App was telling me the current price of Bitcoin was. But I'm sure it was like around this price, right? You scroll back in the video and see. But it's doing 62.8672. Let's hit buy now. All right, we're going to stay on this page till the order is authorized. All right, boom. I just got some email alerts telling me that my Bitcoin is available in my... all right, so my balance is now 27. Because as you remember, there was some Bitcoin in there already, right? So we can go over here. We can look at the Bitcoin. There's 27 Bitcoin. Now, this is definitely not my Bitcoin, because I don't control the private keys of Coinbase, right? Coinbase is holding this Bitcoin on my behalf. They'll give it to me if I ask them. But what if their site gets hacked? What if their site goes down? What if... the government seizes their site, right, and shuts it down, for regulatory problems or whatever, That I don't get my Bitcoin, right? The same thing, by the way, would happen with a bank too. If the government, if a bank went belly up for whatever reason, right, you'd lose your money that's in the bank. So same concept, right? Yeah, I trust them. Yeah, it's a great platform, but I prefer to hold Bitcoin in my own wallet. So let's do that, right? So if we're going to move Bitcoin, we want to put it, we start with the destination, right? So here we are. Let's see, did that Bitcoin come in today? Or yeah, it did, right? There's that $20 that we got from the Cash app, already in safely in my own wallet, right? So let's do another receive. And we could do that same deal again and say we don't have our device. And is that a new address? 5TKTR, let's see. Yeah, actually it generated a new address, right? So I'm just kind of working slipshod tonight, but it's better to do a full verification of the address from, you know, your device, right? So let's go ahead and let's do it the right way, right? Let's not get lazy and cut corners. So I'm going to connect my device here. And let's see, I've got this guy over here. It's working good. First I'll put in my PIN. Get that going. Oops, I hope I did that right. Alright, so let's do this. And before we get too far into this, I'm going to show you guys something that you may not be aware of, that it's a little less secure but way more convenient. If any of you are dealing with a Ledger Nano X or S, you might notice that if you've entered your PIN and you haven't touched it in a while, it will go to sleep. Ah, whoops. There we go. All right. There we go. Oh, yeah. That's nice. Right? So there we go. So if you haven't touched it in a while, it goes to sleep. So what you want to do here is hold down both buttons for a few seconds, and it's going to take you to this command screen, right? And then we can just navigate over to settings, right? And then when we go to settings, we'll hit both buttons. And let's go into general, or I'm sorry, we'll go to security, right? So we're going to use this button to move one over to security. And then we'll hit both buttons again. And then let's go down to auto lock, right? That's where it like auto locks and makes you re-enter the PIN, right? So we'll hit auto lock, and I've got it on no auto lock, right? The default is 10 minutes. So when you first set up this device, it gives you 10 minutes before it goes to sleep and or auto locks and then asks you to enter the PIN again. And that can be a real pain if you're a newbie. So I always go to this auto whenever I reset or restore the device or whatever. I always hit this no auto lock setting first and foremost, so I don't have to deal with that. Now you need to remember that it's a little less secure because it stays unlocked. So if you leave it connected to your computer and you go out for coffee, then someone breaks into your house, then they're going to find your unlocked device, and if they know anything about crypto, they'll be able to move your crypto around. So when you're done using it, unplug it. All right. So, but while you're using it, it's a real pain to have it auto lock on you all the time. All right. So now I want to get out of this. So I'm just going to go down here to back, hit both buttons. And then now I'm going to, from security, I'm going to go over to back again. Right. And that's going to take me out back to the home screen. Now we're doing Bitcoin, so let's let Ledger Live tell us, right? So here, I want to receive some Bitcoin, and in this account. Now, Ledger Live is going to tell me, hey, well, it says quit the application I'm in, right? It should say enter the Bitcoin app, but it's not. So it's a little confused. That's okay. Let's just enter the Bitcoin app and see what happens. It should just say, oh, okay, now you're on the... Yeah, it did, right? So it was a little wonked out there. No big deal. I knew what it wanted me to do. So now I'm in the Bitcoin app, and I have successfully verified this address by seeing it on the device, right? So when I see it here on the device, I know that it's a verified Bitcoin address, that I'm not like getting snookered into sending Bitcoin to somebody else's address. There were some hacks that were doing that. So they've added this fail safe, right? So there, I'm just going to copy this into my clipboard in this case, right? Now it's in my clipboard. I can get rid of the thing by verifying approve on my device. And there it's done. So now I have that address in my clipboard. So let's go over to Coinbase. And now we're in portfolio. We want to go to Bitcoin, the broken Bitcoin. We want to do a send, right? A lot of cryptocurrency exchanges say withdraw, but in Coinbase's case, they say send, right? So I want to send my Bitcoin to myself, right? So I'll hit send. I'll enter my Bitcoin address for my ledger device. I want to max it out, right? So I'm just going to click in the US dollar field, and I can enter, right, some numbers if I want to, or I can just click this button that says send max. And there's the Bitcoin, and we'll hit continue there. Looks like I got more. Oh, I already had Bitcoin in there, right? I was like, hey, that's more than Cash App. All right, now I need to enter my two-factor authentication. Let's do this. I'll show you what I'm doing so you guys know what's going on here. I got my Google Authenticator open. Come on, go away. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. Messing up. All right, so there it is, Coinbase 153203. We'll hit continue. And that's it. Bitcoin, Coinbase is like, boom, it's gone. You're good. All right. And then we'll just kind of see there it says pending, right? So the Bitcoin is now pending out from my account into my own wallet, right? And then we'll just kind of keep an eye on the wallet, and pretty soon we'll see some more Bitcoin come in to this wallet. Now I want to try something a little kind of experimental. Oh, there it is. It came in already. So we're in good shape, all right? Things are moving good on the blockchain tonight. Let's play with that new feature of, this Brave Nightly. All right. So when we're using Brave, this is, I thought that, oh, I didn't bring all my, what do you call them, bookmarks in yet. Anyway, this is a different version of Brave. This is the nightly version of Brave. It's a you can download it, right? Download Brave Nightly, and you'll get like the experimental features, right? So when you're in Brave Nightly and you hit the little plus, you're going to get these two widgets over here. You got the Brave Rewards widget, and you've got the Binance widget, right? And so they've made a deal with Binance where they've integrated it into their browser to make it really easy to purchase Bitcoin from within your browser, right? So I put one password in here earlier. All right, so I'll have access to all my passwords. I guess I haven't imported my bookmarks, but it's not a big deal, right? We can find them. How much Bitcoin do I want to buy, right? Now, you'll notice here that you can use Bitcoin, Binance.com or Binance US, right? If you use Binance US, you only get US dollars. If you use Binance.com, you can use other currencies, right? From other countries, right? Depending on where you're at, right? Now, of course, you would need to have the account for this to even work, right? So I'm assuming, and I haven't used this yet, but let's say, okay, I want to buy $20 worth of Bitcoin. right? And so I'll hit buy BTC. Now I'm assuming that it's going to want me to log into my account, right? Right, so it just took me to the Binance US page, right? So let's see, are they going to make me, when are they going to make me log in, right? So let's hit buy, all right? And then it wants me to log in, right? And so my password manager's in there, so it just, all right, and then I've got two-factor. I don't want to save that. Don't use the browser to save your passwords. It's better to use a password manager like 1Password. More secure. All right, so, but anyway, let's do this. All right, we'll go to our Google Authenticator. I'll go to my Binance US. There it is, 406670. That should sign me in. Okay, so there they are signing me in. They're going to use my debit card, all right, because it's already linked to the, you know. So, of course, you would need to have all this set up in advance, right? I already have a Binance US account. I've already linked my debit card to my bank account. So that's all done ahead of time. So it's just a new interface, right? So I'll hit buy BTC. I'll confirm that. Alright, and then it goes, we have received your order and now processing. We'll receive a confirmation email once the order is complete. And I just got a confirmation email, which I don't need to take any action on. It's just there. It just told me, hey, it's there. So we'll go back to the wallet. Alright, and buy and sell history. Is that it? I bought it. Now, see, the only thing I'm not that crazy about with Binance US is that it won't let me withdraw it right away. I have to wait 10 days, which is kind of a pain, right? So that's why I don't purchase a lot of crypto with my debit card on Binance US because of that 10-day holding. Now, I've already made the purchase, right? So I was able to lock in my purchase, right? So if trading is my thing, okay, fine. I can instantly make a purchase at a particular price if, like, the price of Bitcoin is really low, like today, right? Bitcoin is down like 8%. So I jumped in there and I bought some Bitcoin at 6,300, right? It might be back up at 67 next week. Who knows, right? But it could be lower too. So I made the purchase and I have the Bitcoin, but they're not going to let me withdraw the Bitcoin to my own wallet until 10 days have passed. That clears that, and they just, I don't know. The reason, I mean, the main reason they do that is because they're trying to avoid chargebacks, right? Because I could withdraw the Bitcoin to my own wallet and then call my bank and say cancel that purchase, and the bank would credit me back my money, and Binance US would be out the money. So that they're not just going to let you withdraw crypto until the bank transaction has fully cleared, right? That's 10 days. So that's kind of a thing. Now, whether I didn't really look at what price they gave me and what fees I got. I didn't look at all that. I should have. Oh, there we go. We can see it. The 70 cents that they charge me. So cheaper than Coinbase, but more expensive than Cash App. So far, as far as that fee goes, it looks like the Cash App to just buy the Bitcoin, right? Now, I'm also going to get a withdrawal fee when I withdraw from here and Coinbase. I think I got withdrawal fees on all of those too, right? So there's a lot of things to think about. I don't really worry that much about little fees, little dollar here, dollar there, but they could be more, in bigger purchases, right? So you might want to, do some research and decide where you think the best way to purchase Bitcoin would be, right? Coinbase, and then you also have to think about who do you trust, right? So Coinbase is a very trustworthy platform, very user-friendly platform. So that all comes into it as well. You might feel like it's worth it, to get the higher fees when you've got a crypto exchange you can trust, right? I'm not saying I don't trust Cash App or Binance US or anything else, but there are a lot of foreign exchanges, kind of shady exchanges, where I wouldn't be that crazy about keeping my coins on there, right? All right, so let's see what people are talking about here. Professor. Oh, yeah. Watch out for these scammers, right? What is the average fee for moving one BTC to a hardware wallet? I wish I had one BTC to move to a hardware wallet. The Bitcoin, it's pretty low, right? It's not that high compared to other ways of transferring Bitcoin or transferring value, let's say. So if I had $6,300 worth of dollars in my bank account and I wanted to send it to someone in England, I'd be charged quite a bit, right? The wire fee, the international transfer fee, blah blah, or let's say I wanted to make a purchase with my credit card. A lot of places charge you, they charge a premium because of the merchant fee. So Bitcoin, and I've read a lot of stories about, hey, a whale just moved like $1 billion worth of Bitcoin and the fee was $3. Well, we're talking about fee. There's blockchain fees that are built into the Bitcoin blockchain that you will incur. Now, the exchanges absorb those blockchain fees. That's why they charge you their own fees. But I think they're coming out ahead because the blockchain fees are going to be less than the withdrawal fees and all that other stuff, right? But if I'm moving Bitcoin from one place to another, from a wallet that I own to another wallet that I own or to a friend, then the fees are pretty low, comparatively speaking, compared to other kind of stuff, right? So, but I can't give you an average dollar amount, right? I think, but it's less than 1%, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, thank you. Have a safe trip home. All right, I'm just glad I'm still working. My thoughts and prayers go out to those of you who are out of a job at the moment because of this lockdown. So I'm there with you. But luckily for me, I have the type of job that we're still working, but not as much as we were before. Yeah, we're not getting as many deliveries as we were when they were at full strength. But that's okay. All right. So yeah, we're going to be getting this money from this new coronavirus bill that was just signed into law. But don't let anybody scam you, right? Always be very careful. And the best way, pardon me, the best way to really figure out this stuff is if someone contacts you, it's probably a scam, right? Government checks usually just show up in your mailbox, right? And if you've done your taxes before and gotten your refunds through direct deposit, then I believe that the money will just show up in your bank account, right? So there's no reason to go out, or there's no reason for anyone that tells you they're going to give it to you quicker is probably scamming you, right? I don't know how these scams work. Right, and they want your bank account number. Here, give me your bank account number and I'll make sure you get this money fast, right? Yeah, don't fall for that kind of stuff. Wait, what? Oh, no. Okay, Daniel Rusayev is asking me, ITN Group, I heard it as a robot indicator, and they asked in a withdrawal wallet section to paste, for example, Bitcoin address. Is it okay? Well, if you're withdrawing from them, then probably, right? But my thing is you should always test it with small amounts. So, but let's check this out. Who are these people? Is this it? ITN group? I don't know what this is. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, so it's not really an exchange so much as it is kind of a platform where people can come together and maybe earn some money and get paid in cryptocurrency, if I'm not. All right, you'd have to be signed up and logged in, and then let's say you do some work, and then they say, give me a Bitcoin address so we can send you some Bitcoin. I would imagine that's fine. No one can take anything from you when you provide a Bitcoin address to them, right? They can only send you Bitcoin. They can't steal it from you. So if they're asking you to give them a Bitcoin address so that they can send you some Bitcoin, then that's fine, right? I don't know exactly what your situation is, but that would be the best. Yeah. If someone is asking for your Bitcoin address, those Bitcoin addresses are only for sending, right? There's no way they can get access to your wallet but just by looking at your Bitcoin receiving address. That's how the Bitcoin is built, right? The cryptocurrency. The private key is the thing you don't want other people to know about, right? The private key on a hardware wallet is stored safely, disconnected from the internet, right? It can only be accessed through the buttons, right? You could have a desktop-based wallet where the private key is stored on the computer, but generally you don't even see the private key, right? Now, recovery keys are a ways to access the private key, so never give anyone a recovery key that's asking you for a recovery key, like these hackers that say they can recover Bitcoin that you lost, that kind of thing. A lot of people turn to these hackers, and then the hacker will ask for the recovery key of the wallet, and then they'll take whatever Bitcoin you had left in the wallet, right? So don't ever give out your 24-word or 12-word recovery phrase to anyone asking. But if they're just asking you for a Bitcoin receiving address so that they can send you some Bitcoin, that's perfectly fine, right? And if you're trying to do a withdrawal from here, like you got paid or whatever, maybe just if it's okay to withdraw part of it, maybe test it out with a small one, right? So someone paid you 50, maybe try to withdraw a couple bucks worth of Bitcoin to your own wallet first to make sure that it goes through, and then go ahead and do the rest of it. That's usually what I do, right? So, like I said, we can't withdraw that money that we got on Binance US, right? I can't withdraw that Bitcoin for 10 days, right? But we got the others, right? So let's look over here. Yeah, we got the Coinbase, we got the Cash App. So I was able to buy the Bitcoin and then store it in my own wallet, right? That's what what I wanted to do, right? No, I don't think I ever did recommend buying Hex. I think I explained that that was a scam from the very beginning, if I recall. Yeah. No problem, Daniel. Best of luck to you. I hope everything works out. All right, so let me scroll up here a little bit. I know you guys were talking about that $1,200 scam. Don't touch my face with my hands. Well, my hands, I've washed my hands. We had dinner before I started the live stream, and my hands were under scalding hot water, so they're fine. Um, I don't think it's. I think it's don't touch your face if you haven't washed your hands. Don't touch your face like after you've touched other things, right? So, let's, we try to live our lives and be normal people. All that stuff, about the not touching your face and not sneezing in public, that's all stuff we've known, right? That's like during flu season. That's just common sense kind of stuff, right? But you're right, I don't want to lose me either, so I'll be careful. But not touching your face, that's a little too much to ask. I mean, we touch our face a lot. I wanted to bring up this story. I read this story a little before we got going here. It's about this package, this coronavirus package, right? Worth $6 trillion. If getting us into $6 trillion more debt doesn't matter, then why not 350 trillion, right? So there was a congressman, a Republican congressman, that wanted to delay the coronavirus thing so that they could debate a little bit and do a full vote and everything. And of course, he got jumped on by everybody. Oh, this guy, is trying to. But he made a really good point, right? He says, if getting us into $6 trillion more debt doesn't matter, right? So if we can just make money out of nothing, right? Why stop at 6 trillion? Why not just do 350 trillion more debt and just give everybody $1 million in the country, right? So obviously something's not right here. If they can just create money out of nothing and just send it to us, then why can't they just give us $1 million? Why stop at 1,200, right? But anyway, this is the breakdown of the 2 trillion in the coronavirus, the package, right? Or the CARE, they call it the CARE, right? Is that what they call it? Yeah. Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, or the CARES Act. Makes it sound so nice, right? But look at all this other money that's going to all the big companies, right? All the usual suspects that have been bleeding us dry. I don't want to get into too much of this, but, no one seems to be talking about all this other money, And of course, when they talk about it, it's all about, oh, we're trying to keep the economy going, right? So, and, a lot of people will come back at me and they'd say, Rex, don't you realize, these markets must be maintained or the whole system will collapse and then you won't, money that you have won't make a difference anymore. And I get that, right? So we don't want the whole system to crash. But is this the way to rescue the system? Creating more debt, which is like even more than they did in 2008. So creating more debt to get yourself out of debt, I mean, that's pretty common sense, right? If I'm running a household and I've got a lot of bills to pay and I'm in debt, $20,000 in credit card debt, is it really a solution to go get another credit card that gives me $50,000 credit limit and, get even more in debt to, fix that problem? Because I don't know if that's really the solution. But that's essentially what is going on here with this bill, right? Where the government is issuing more debt, the Treasury is backing the Federal Reserve's debt, and then the Federal Reserve is going to use that money that they have, and they'll use fractional reserve banking to lend out like 10 times the amount that they've actually got on deposit. I don't know if they mentioned that here. But we're basically creating money out of nothing. And we're just kicking the can down the road again, right? So if we're going to kick the can down the road, why not give everybody $1 million? It makes more sense, right? So anyway, of course everybody jumped on this guy, right? Even John Kerry agreed with Donald Trump. So you know that the fix is in when the Democrats are like behind Donald Trump, right? They hate everything about him except, let's get this package passed so we can all line our pockets, right? Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. All right, so what else can we do? I need some more questions so we can move along here. Who's buying the dip? I hope it goes down a little more because it's rolling around to the time of the month when I make my purchase of Bitcoin, and I prefer that the Bitcoin price be down when I purchase a little Bitcoin, right? There's a once a month my paycheck I've used to buy a little crypto, right? And it's served me well over time, right? I did liquidate back in February so that I could buy some supplies, stocked up the house with toilet paper and water and food and dry goods and cold remedies and all that kind of stuff. And when I was doing it in mid-February, I'm walking around, I seemed to be the only one. And I was I remember thinking to myself that there is no sense of urgency in the air. It was painfully clear to me that that what was happening in China could easily happen here, and that we might get locked down for 2 months or 2 weeks. That's what I was telling my friends. I was like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we might get locked down for 2 weeks. So why not get prepared for that, right? I told my parents, I'm like, do you have enough groceries to last you guys 2 weeks? And they're like, no, we just go to the grocery when we need something. And I'm like, yeah, well, you never know. You might get told to stay inside. And as it turned out, I was right. Right. So, but anyway, so I look at my crypto as savings, right? I had some money stashed away in crypto, and I needed some extra cash for my supplies. So I liquidated a little bit so that I could go buy supplies. So it served me well in that sense. So if anything, right, your crypto, we want to be hodlers and everything, but if anything, your crypto can also be looked at as savings, right? Something you've got socked away. And I don't know, maybe I sold at a loss, maybe I didn't, I don't know. We'll see. All right, so, but watch out for scammers. All right, so let's move some more crypto around if we can. Trying to think what we should do. Does anybody have any requests? Did the Congress pass the crypto dollar? There was some talk about some digital dollars, but I think that got stripped out of the final bill, right? Let's look at digital dollar. See if we can find it, because there were some stories about that. Yeah, so there was talk of digital dollars. I read this article. I should have put it in there. I'll go ahead and put it in the description so you guys can read it later. Let's see, I gotta do this business where I paste it in there and then cap it, copy it. All right, and then we'll put it down in here. Let's do that. Let's put it first. What happened? Did it go? Yeah, it did. All right. So there, how a flurry of digital dollar proposals made it into Congress. So we'll go back over here. We'll copy that link, and I'll give it to you guys. It's an interesting story because there were some proposals to make some digital dollars for the unbanked. And I was kind of like, well, how's that going to work? If they don't have a bank account, how's the digital dollar going to help them? Are they going to like tell them to download a wallet? If you're unbanked, you're probably uncomputered too. So I don't know. Were they going to hand out ID cards or thumb scans or retinal scans? I don't know. But they were talking about these digital dollars. And of course, there are a lot of conspiracies swirling around that it's all a one world conspiracy to, go to digital, a cashless society, right? So, but I think it was a little too complicated. They wouldn't have been able to do it fast enough. they tried to get as much stuff pushed into this thing as they could, uh, because it had to be passed, right? Because they've told everyone to stay home. So, I mean, we can't just stay home and starve. So they were like, okay, we got to pass this thing and give everybody money, right? You guys get it, right? Because you're going to get a $1,200. As we see, there was more to it than just giving us the money. But there were a lot of digital dollar proposals that were floated around, but I guess they decided that it would be better just to get the thing passed and send people checks, right? So, but an interesting uh, that they were even discussing this. Crazy times we're living in, right? So pretty cool. Ledger, Scott C is asking, is Ledger Live a wallet? Now, let's talk. That's a really good question because I would like to talk about that. So, Ledger Live is a piece of software that we can use to manage cryptocurrency. It can be thought of as a wallet, right? Now, they call this a wallet, the Ledger Live. The Ledger Nano X. They call this a wallet. But precisely speaking, it is not a wallet. It is a keychain. It's much more closer to a keychain than a wallet, like the wallet that you put in your pocket. So because the blockchain is out there on the internet, right? And that's where the Bitcoin actually lives, right? The blockchain, each blockchain node contains a copy of the entire blockchain ledger, and you query this worldwide ledger to see what your balance is. So the Bitcoin blockchain is more like this huge digital safety deposit box that has multiple copies all over the world, right? And so that's where your Bitcoin actually is. Those are more like your wallet. The private keys are what give you access to those blockchain addresses. So this is really not the wallet, right? This is the Bitcoin isn't really stored inside this device. The only thing in this device are the private keys to the Bitcoin addresses that I've established using this guy, right? The actual Bitcoin is on the blockchain. Now, Ledger Live is an interface to those cryptocurrency accounts, right? So we look here. Here's a Bitcoin native SegWit account that I have created in Ledger Live, but it does have a course, and I just touched my face, and it does have a corresponding private key that is stored safely in this Ledger device, right? So, but it's not really a wallet in the sense that you and I think of as wallets, right? But for simplicity's sake, I think Ledger calls it a wallet, right? Because for all intents and purposes, it is, right? You could easily just figure, okay, the Bitcoin is in here and it's locked in here. But precisely speaking, it is not, right? The keys are in here. This is more of a keychain than a wallet. And Ledger Live is more of an interface than a wallet, right? I would say, like, when you think about the money that you keep in your bank account, you have a banking app on your phone where you can check your balance and withdraw and deposit or whatever. It's more like that, right? The real wallet is the bank account, right? That's where the money actually is. So Ledger Live is similar to a banking app, right? That gives you access to your Bitcoin balance that's on the blockchain. I can use this interface to send and receive Bitcoin. I can send it to someone else's blockchain address. I can receive it from another blockchain address. But the Bitcoin is just getting moved around on the blockchain. But because I have the private keys, I have ownership of that. I claim ownership to a Bitcoin address, and I can send and receive from that address. When you first initialize it, it's empty, right? And you saw me move some Bitcoin in there that I bought online, right? And now it's stored in here. This is just the interface. But in many respects, you can think of it as a wallet because I can look in here. I can see how much, just like I can open my own wallet and look inside, see how many bills are in there. And then I can also take money out and put money in. So in that respect, it kind of functions as a wallet. But specifically, more precisely, it's an interface to your blockchain addresses. Thumbs up, 50% isn't enough for Rex's expertise. Thanks for the cheerleading, David. I appreciate it. All right, so yeah, this was kind of cool. I mean, it's not. It just launched the web page, though. It really didn't do that much. Right, what were we doing over here? Oh, okay. So when we get new tab, we see this Binance little widget thing. It's just an easy, quick way to sort of buy some Bitcoin on Binance US. And if you're already logged in, right, let's go back to this other one. Let's say we were already logged into Binance US, right? Right, there's some Bitcoin in there, right? But let's say that we open a new tab and then we said, okay, let's buy some Bitcoin. Let's see what it does. Right, see, it now that I'm logged in, it's just a quick and easy way to make that purchase, right? It's kind of cool, but it still takes me to the Binance US webpage, right? I could just as easily have logged into Binance US from my bookmark, right? So it's just kind of a convenient little widget, right? The Brave Rewards widget tells me how much Brave I've accumulated. And the Binance widget gives me a quick and easy way to like buy some Bitcoin. We could try some other stuff too. Right? We could buy some BAT, we could buy some ETH. Right? So there's lots of cool interfaces here. But it's basically just logging you in to your Binance account. Right? But it's cool. Right? And then I also noticed too, if you where was that? I noticed this earlier. I don't know if I can find it now. They were telling me that I could... Oh, here. No. It's gone now. They were telling me that I could get my tap... I could spend my BAT for with TAP, T-A-P, which is another one of their partners. But I can't find it now. It must have been, let's see. Nah. Okay. Maybe next time I'll show you that. But there is a company, Brave Tap. Whoops. T-A-P. Right, they have a partnership with TAP where they're going to allow you to use your BAT that you've earned in your Brave browser to buy things like gift cards or whatever. TAP is here. TAP. They have a bunch of like gift cards and stuff, and so you can use TAP to. They partner with a lot of brands, right? So, in theory, I could get paid to watch ads in Brave and then at some point use that BAT with the start to buy a cup of coffee, or whatever. Or, pay for my Netflix or whatever. There's a lot of cool things that are going on with Brave browser where you can earn BAT. And then they're coming up with new and innovative ways where you can actually spend your BAT in the real world, right? You'll know that. Oh, see, there it is, TAP. Oh, cool! Look at that. Oh, but that's just that they're a partner, right? But let's say we wanted to withdraw reward settings. Okay, I don't. This is the. Let's look at the full version, right? The one that I use. All right, so if I wanted to go to my Brave Rewards. Huh? I guess my auto contribute was empty when they went to pay for CoinDesk. Ah, that's funny. Let's go here. Right, so my bat is empty because it just got withdrawn. Right. What says I'm disconnected from Uphold? That's weird. All right. Mm. Ah, it says join. I want to join. I want to log in. Weird. Uphold is how you can connect to your. There it says my wallet's verified. Go over here to my Uphold account, and there's $3 in here right now. I just recently withdrew. Right, so I'm not sure which card it's on. Here it is. Yeah, when people tip me on YouTube, I get some money. It's not much, but it's always appreciated. But then every month I get some money from Brave International for, my rewards from my YouTube channel. So Uphold, if you haven't tried Uphold yet, it's a pretty cool wallet as well. But it's custodial, right? They control the private keys. So they generally require, I generally withdraw my BAT from Uphold. And I've done a video on that. It's a fairly recent video. I invite you to check that out. And uploads here. Yeah, I don't know why people aren't like watching this particular video. It was just too. But how to withdraw your BAT from Uphold, right? So when you connect an Uphold wallet to your Brave browser, it will automatically go into that Uphold account. And as you accumulate Brave over time, let's say you 6 months and you've accumulated $60 in your Brave browser, you might want to withdraw that BAT back to your own wallet. So you can store BAT in an Ethereum wallet. You can see I've got some BAT tokens here. All right. So it's one way to do it, right? So I prefer to hold BAT in my own wallet than to hold it in a custodial account. So if you're accumulating cryptocurrency anywhere, it's probably a good idea to store it in your own wallet. It is a good idea. You should always store crypto in your own wallet, unless you're a day trader and you want to keep it liquid on an exchange. Otherwise, it's always a good idea. You can always move it back to the exchange whenever you need to sell it, right? But it's much more secure when you hold it in your own wallet. Right. Oh, cool. Marvin exchanged some BAT for silver. Yeah, I noticed that they've got I don't know where I went here. Yeah, you can actually buy metals here too, right? This is it. Yeah, you can add metal. I don't know where it is. There. There's gold. Right. There's silver. Probably down here in the S. Yeah, there. Right. So yeah, Uphold's pretty cool. You can do all kinds of stuff with Uphold. All right, guys. I felt like I didn't do that much tonight. We talked a lot. I didn't buy any crypto on Crypto.com. Crypto.com, their fees are very low, but you need to the money has to move because they're not a U.S. based account, right? So I can very easily purchase, put some. I have to put the cash in my account first, right? Like I go over to Fiat wallet, and then I would hit transfer US dollar to make a deposit, and then I put it in their bank account, and that takes a few days to clear, like 3 to 5 business days. But once the money is in there in my Fiat wallet, then I don't think they charge me any fees at all. but I might catch some fees when I transfer it from my bank to their bank. I didn't go through that because it doesn't happen fast enough. Right? All right, guys. So thanks for joining me again this week. Stay safe. Don't sneeze on each other. All right. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, we do this every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me for the live Q&A every week. Live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions. I'll do my best to get them answered. And we'll move some crypto around, and we'll talk about the markets and what's going on in the world of cryptocurrency. Hope to see you there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon.